Hi guys, time for a little progress update on my conversion of this little toy grade car to hobby grade. I absolutely love this little car. It's four-wheel drive, the front and back are linked together, so it's got two motors, one drives one side and one drives the other side. I find it virtually uncontrollable as toy grade because as soon as you press the throttle it's full forwards or full backwards, so it spends a lot of time just spinning around. So I wanted to convert it to hobby grade. If we take it apart, I've already taken all the screws out. So we've got battery compartment on the bottom for 4 AA batteries, so that's 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6 volts it runs on. If we take the top off, I put this roll cage on myself, that's just springy wire so that I could mount a camera just there without it getting crushed when it rolls over, because this does roll over all the time. Right, inside we've got the 27 megahertz receiver board, which works absolutely fine. That was a bit of sort of copper tape, which is the aerial, which has seen better days. It's beaten in now, but we're going to do away with that entirely. The two motors, gearbox, and then 2 wires coming up from the batteries. These axles that go through are not actually part of the drive chain, although they do turn if you turn the wheels. They don't have to, they're just there to align the wheels. You can actually keep your finger on there and they still turn just as well without the axles turning, but they need to be there to keep the wheels in alignment. So I can actually rest something on there if I need to and it wouldn't matter. What we can't do is cut it out of the way. So that gives me a little problem. Let's just do a little bit of gentle cutting. I'll leave little tails on here so I know where they came from. And that one's just going to tear out anyway. So that was the aerial. So this is what we're left with. Now I want to use this ESC, which is a brushed motor, dual brushed ESC for 2 to 3S LiPo battery, 5 amps times 2. It won't fit. It might fit if I rearrange things. If I move that capacitor off the end, we could just about jam it in there. And we also need a receiver, and there's not enough room for that to go in there, so if that goes in there we haven't got enough room for that. So we have a little problem. I have a way around it, but we have a little problem. My way around it is, rather than have the battery on the bottom, have the battery up the top here somewhere, and then if I cut this central divider out, I think that will fit in there. It will certainly fit in if I give it a bit of a tilt. So that can go in the bottom. The receiver can also go in the bottom. There's enough room for both of them. If I turn it that way up and cut a hole in the bottom of the battery case there so that the connectors that have to go in that way can actually point up through the bottom here, then we should be good to go. Then we have the problem that how are we going to stick the batteries in? So I've been working on a 3D printed top for it. Started off just with that piece, just to make sure I got the length right and the curve right. That piece, so we got the screw terminal fixings, then a bit of a jump, this piece, and that bit on it, and that bit on it, so that all goes in there. So you can now see where we're going with this. I can build this up as high as I need it to. That's not actually the battery I had in mind, but that is a 2S LiPo battery. So that can fit in there. I'll need to put a little cover of some sort in there just to protect the motor terminals. That's not it. But it just happens to be a bit of plastic laying there, so we can put a cover over there to protect that. If we make this high enough, then the battery can sit in there easily. And we might even go all the way and put a mini camera mounting on top of it, so it's all moulded in. So that's the current situation. I've done a fair bit of 3D printing, a few bits and pieces just to get this right. This is just a very basic shape, but I can then curve off the ends if I want. I don't think I'll try and make it look exactly like that. Well, I can't, because it needs to be deeper. This is designed to flip right over and run either way up, but once we start putting this on here and having a battery sticking out, it won't then run upside down. The wheels won't touch the ground. But then the wheels didn't touch the ground once I put the roll cage on either. The idea of the roll cage is it helps it to go back up, but quite a few times it gets stuck. So it won't be perfect, but I think we might be able to get this hobby grade. This thing, it's a dual ESC, as I already said, so one motor, the other motor, and when you connect it to your controller, or to your receiver for that matter, that's your normal one, goes in one of those for forwards, backwards, and then that one is the one that goes in the rudder or aileron or whatever, depending on what you're using, because if you're using one of them, it would go into the steering. So yeah, so you can steer it. That varies the output to the two motors, so you've got exactly what this had before, tank steering or skid steering. So a bit more work to do, but we're getting closer. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.